My cherished child, listen closely, for the very air around you vibrates with a truth deeper than sound, an echo of eternity calling to the core of your being. That stirring within, that quiet disquiet that sometimes settles upon your spirit like a gentle but persistent rain, it is not random, nor is it merely your own thought. It is my summons, a divine whisper growing into a clear call, inviting you to awaken fully from the slumber of the everyday and to step into the radiant, purposeful light for which you were created. Do you feel it, my beloved? That subtle, yet undeniable shift in the atmosphere of existence itself. The world, with its ceaseless noise, its urgent demands for your attention, its glittering distractions, it performs a shadow play upon the walls of your perception. It is real in its own way, yet it is fleeting. A transient illusion when measured against the enduring, unchanging reality of my love and the eternal home I am preparing for you. I have spoken to you in the silent language of creation, the sigh of wind through ancient trees, the breathtaking artistry of a sunrise painting the dawn sky, the profound stillness of a night ablaze with distant stars. My voice has been in the quiet moments, the unexpected joys, the gentle nudges of your conscience. But now my call becomes more distinct, more direct, for a season of profound change is drawing near, a time when the temporary structures men build will tremble and fade, revealing the eternal foundations I have laid. Let your heart hear this. This is not a message designed to instill fear, but one intended to inspire preparation. My deepest desire is not to see you caught unprepared, clinging desperately to securities that cannot last, or burdened by anxieties I long to lift from your shoulders. My love for you, my child, is far too vast, too protective, too all-encompassing, to allow you to face the unfolding future without the spiritual armor I provide, the impenetrable armor of unwavering faith, the shining shield of enduring hope, and the keen-edged sword of immutable truth. Therefore, I ask you now, with all the tenderness a loving parent holds for a precious child, to simply pause. Still the racing thoughts, quiet the inner clamor. Open your heart, not just partially, but wide open, allowing my words to sink deep, past the defenses, past the doubts, into the very essence of who you are. Let them be a soothing balm upon any wounds you carry, a steady light illuminating the path ahead, and an unshakable source of strength as you navigate the uncertainties of this world. If this message resonates within you, if it strikes a chord of recognition, ignites even a tiny spark of longing for something more, something true, then do not hide that light. Let it shine. Share this hope, this invitation with others who may be walking in shadows, searching for comfort, for meaning, for me. Sometimes, a simple act of sharing, a word spoken from a heart touched by my love, a gesture of genuine encouragement can become a lifeline for a soul feeling lost and adrift on turbulent seas. Look around you, my child, with discerning eyes. Observe the relentless cycles of the world. Nations rise, empires crumble, fortunes are amassed and then scattered like dust. The very things that seemed solid and permanent yesterday can vanish tomorrow. This restless, striving world is not the true, eternal home I have designed for your soul. This earthly realm, with its mixture of fleeting joys and pervasive sorrows, its constant pursuit of more, is a temporary dwelling place, a proving ground, a classroom where lessons of eternal significance are learned, preparing you for the boundless life that awaits. The chaos you sometimes perceive, the confusion that clouds understanding, the endless human striving for status, possessions, and power. These are often potent distractions, clever diversions orchestrated by forces that seek to keep your gaze fixed downward, away from the upward call, away from what holds eternal value. Do not anchor your heart, the deepest seat of your affections and trust, to possessions that decay, to relationships that may fracture under pressure, or to human accolades that fade like echoes. These are but fleeting shadows, insubstantial illusions that can never truly satisfy the profound yearning for lasting peace and unconditional love planted deep within your soul. Instead, build your life upon the unshakable foundation of my love. Place your trust wholly in me, the constant in a world of change, the eternal wellspring of love, peace, and security. When everything else seems to be shaking, when the ground feels unstable beneath your feet, my love for you remains steadfast, an immovable bedrock upon which you can securely stand and build a life of true meaning. Again, I say, this is not a summons to fear, my beloved. It is a call to heightened awareness, an invitation to awaken fully from the drowsy slumber of spiritual complacency, and to consciously embrace the eternal reality that awaits beyond this temporary veil. When your heart is truly aligned with mine, yielded to my love and my purposes, the end of this earthly chapter is not an event to be dreaded with anxiety. Instead, it becomes a glorious transition, a long-awaited homecoming to the place where you have always truly belonged, the place prepared for you before the foundation of the world. Take this time, my precious child, this sacred space I am creating in your awareness, to reflect deeply. Examine your life with unflinching honesty and gentle courage. Are your daily choices, your priorities, your energies being invested in things that hold eternal significance? Are you actively nurturing your soul, cultivating relationships grounded in love and truth, and diligently seeking the profound peace that only I can bestow, a peace that transcends circumstances? Now is the appointed time to draw near to me, closer than ever before. Strengthen the foundations of your faith through prayer and my word. Trust me implicitly, knowing that I will guide you, sustain you, and illuminate your path through whatever challenges or changes lie ahead. Be vigilant, my child. Stay watchful and discerning. The signs are unfolding around you for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. The unraveling of worldly systems, the increasing global turmoil, the erosion of compassion and truth in many quarters, these are not merely random, unfortunate events. They are akin to the birth pangs heralding a new era, the predictable consequences of a world that has collectively strayed far from my original, loving design for harmony and righteousness. Do not be like those who sleepwalk through life, spiritually oblivious to the approaching dawn of a new reality. Do not allow yourself to be caught unprepared, clinging desperately to illusions that are destined to dissolve. Stay alert. Keep the channels of your heart open and attuned to my voice, my gentle guidance. Consciously resist the countless distractions that constantly vie for your attention, seeking to pull you away from the path of enduring truth and lasting peace. You have felt it, haven't you, deep within your spirit? That subtle inner knowing, that quiet premonition, that sense that something significant, something world-altering is on the horizon. The relentless noise and frenetic activity of the world attempt to lull you into a false sense of security, whispering that things will continue as they always have. But you, my child, possess a sensitivity to the whispers of the spirit, an awareness of the subtle energetic shifts occurring beneath the surface of everyday life. This message is reaching you now for a specific reason. Your encounter with these words is not accidental. It is a divinely orchestrated appointment. This moment has been woven into the tapestry of your life by my infinite love, designed to awaken you more fully, to prepare your heart, and to empower you with my strength and wisdom for the times ahead. Do not let this sacred moment slip away unnoticed. Do not dismiss the stirring in your soul as mere coincidence, wishful thinking, or fanciful imagination. Recognize this as a direct call to action, a call to rise above the mundane, the superficial, the temporary, and to consciously embrace the extraordinary destiny I have planned for you, a destiny intertwined with my eternal purposes. Even as the foundations of the world seem to tremble, remember my unwavering promise. I will never ever leave you, nor will I forsake you. When the storms of life rage fiercely around you, when the ground beneath your feet feels unstable and uncertain, I will be your unyielding anchor, your solid foundation, your ever-present, inexhaustible source of strength, courage, and peace. I understand the questions that may arise in your heart, the doubts that flicker, the fears that seek to grip you. It is natural for the human mind to question endings, to fear change, to wonder why familiar patterns must cease. But understand this, my child. Endings are not always tragedies. Very often, they are the necessary precursors to glorious new beginnings, the catalysts for transformations far more wonderful than you can currently conceive. Trust the process, even when it feels disruptive. Trust me, my beloved child, for I hold the master keys to your future, a future brimming with authentic hope, genuine joy, and everlasting peace. This is not a promise of a life devoid of challenges, for challenges refine character and deepen faith. But it is an absolute guarantee of my unwavering presence beside you, guiding your steps, protecting your soul, and empowering you with my spirit every single step of the journey. The clock of this current age is ticking, my beloved. The time you have been given in this earthly life is an incredibly precious gift, a sacred trust, a unique opportunity to prepare your heart, align your life with my eternal purpose, and store up treasures that will last forever. Do not squander this invaluable time chasing fleeting pleasures that leave you empty, pursuing meaningless ambitions that ultimately disappoint, or accumulating material possessions that will eventually turn to dust and be left behind. Instead, focus your energy, your attention, your devotion on what truly matters in the grand sweep of eternity, cultivating genuine love for me and for others, practicing active kindness and compassion, extending forgiveness freely as you have been forgiven, nurturing peace within yourself and in your relationships, and deepening your personal, intimate connection with me through prayer, worship, and obedience. These are the true treasures, the qualities of the heart that will endure beyond time, the virtues that will shine with brilliant luster even amidst the deepest darkness. If the end of certain things as you know them is indeed drawing near, doesn't it make profound sense to consciously release the burdens that hold you back? Why cling tightly to old grudges, simmering bitterness, or paralyzing regrets? Why exhaust yourself chasing after illusions, fame, fortune, power, that promise fulfillment but ultimately leave the soul wanting? Money cannot buy entry into my kingdom. Fame is a fleeting echo. Possessions cannot accompany you beyond the veil of this life. They are distractions, often heavy anchors, preventing your spirit from soaring towards the true riches that await you in my presence. Instead, consciously cultivate the virtues that reflect my divine nature, the characteristics known as the fruit of my spirit dwelling within you. Unconditional love, deep-seated joy, abiding peace, patient endurance, genuine kindness, inherent goodness, unwavering faithfulness, gentle strength, and disciplined self-control. These are not mere human efforts. They are the supernatural outflow of my life within you. These are the qualities that last, the treasures that hold eternal value, the characteristics that will shine brightly in the everlasting kingdom I am preparing. My dear one, allow the light of this truth to illuminate your path forward. Share this message of hope, this call to awareness and preparation, with others who may be searching for hope in a seemingly hopeless world, searching for meaning amidst the confusion, searching for a connection to something, someone greater than themselves. Your simple, courageous act of sharing could be the very spark that ignites faith in another heart, gently guiding them towards me. Now is the time for decisive action, my child. If you recognize areas in your life that are out of alignment with my will, areas that need correction or adjustment, address them now, with courage and humility. If there are relationships fractured by misunderstanding or hurt that need mending, reach out proactively. Extend the olive branch of forgiveness. Seek reconciliation. If there are apologies you know you need to offer, do so without further delay, humbling yourself for the sake of peace and restoration. Do not postpone these vital actions, thinking tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow is not guaranteed to any person. Every moment you delay in making things right, in seeking forgiveness or extending it, is a precious moment lost. A moment that could have been invested in bringing healing, restoration, and reconciliation to yourself, to others, and deepening your connection with me. Seize this present opportunity to clear the path, to lighten your load, to walk in integrity and love. You were not created solely for this temporary earthly existence. Your lifespan here, even if it stretches for many decades, is but a fleeting breath, a single heartbeat, compared to the immeasurable expanse of eternity that stretches before you. Yet tragically, so many live as though this brief life is the entirety of reality, pouring all their precious energy, time, and resources into pursuits that will ultimately vanish like mist in the morning sun. I desire for you to live with eternity consciously in view. Let this eternal perspective shape your daily decisions, guide your actions, temper your words. Consider the eternal consequences of your choices. Are you living in a way that truly reflects your divine calling and purpose? Are you investing in treasures stored in heaven, acts of love, kindness, faith, and obedience? Or are you clinging desperately to the fleeting, perishable things of this earth? Precious one, you are intrinsically worthy of profound joy, deep inspiration, and a life brimming with purpose and meaning. Walk with me on this journey of awakening and preparation. Subscribe your heart fully to this message of truth. Let it be a constant, gentle reminder of my fathomless love for you and my specific, personal call upon your life. Allow your heart to blossom and expand with each insight, each revelation, each conscious step you take closer to me, into the fullness of the life I intend for you. My dear child, my deepest longing is for you to be fully ready, not just mentally prepared for the end of this current age, but spiritually equipped and eagerly anticipating the glorious beginning of the eternal life I have meticulously prepared for you. Imagine a life completely free from pain, sorrow, tears, and fear. Imagine a reality where you are fully known, intimately understood, unconditionally loved, and perpetually immersed in the radiant, life-giving light of my immediate presence. This is not a fantasy. It is your promised inheritance. Take these words, my beloved, and anchor them deep within your heart. Let them be your compass in times of confusion, your comfort in moments of distress, and your unwavering source of strength when you feel weak or overwhelmed. Remember, you are never, ever truly alone. I am perpetually with you, closer than your own breath, walking faithfully beside you, upholding you with my righteous right hand, every single step of your earthly pilgrimage. And when the final chapter of this world's story is written, when time gives way to eternity, I will be there, waiting with open arms to welcome you personally into my loving embrace. I will reveal to you the breathtaking, unimaginable beauty of eternity, a realm of existence so glorious, so fulfilling, so wondrous, that it surpasses your wildest dreams and deepest longings. Perhaps you have encountered messages similar to this before, warnings or calls to readiness. But this time, I urge you, with all the earnestness of my divine love, to take it with utmost seriousness. Consider this your personal wake-up call, my heartfelt plea reaching directly into your life, seeking to awaken you fully to the profound reality of what is unfolding and what is ultimately to come. You are encountering these words at this specific juncture in your life for a divine reason. This moment was foreordained, woven into the fabric of your destiny long before you took your first breath. It is no mere coincidence that you find yourself reading or hearing this message right now. I am speaking directly to the deepest part of your heart, and I implore you to listen, truly listen with spiritual ears, and to respond with faith and action. There is genuinely no time to waste on trivialities or procrastination. If you have been postponing necessary changes in your life, knowing deep down that certain habits, attitudes, or relationships are hindering your spiritual growth, if you have been subtly ignoring the gentle nudges of my spirit, brushing off my quiet voice, or if you have been living under the illusion that you have unlimited time to get serious about your faith, that mindset must change, starting today. You are ready, my child, even if you don't feel fully equipped. The readiness comes not from your own strength, but from your willingness to surrender. Surrender your heart, your will, your future completely to me. Let me lead you step by step. Let me prepare you from the inside out. Let me equip you with everything you need for the journey ahead. The end of certain things is indeed approaching, but it absolutely does not have to be a time of fear, anxiety, or dread for those whose hearts are mine. When you are ready, when your heart is fully aligned with my love and purpose, the transition, whenever it comes, will be a time of profound joy, ultimate fulfillment, and glorious homecoming. Consider this, my beloved, perhaps one of my most earnest pleas to your heart. I have communicated my love and my call to you in countless ways throughout your life, through the intricate beauty and staggering power of the creation surrounding you, through the quiet whispers of your God-given conscience, through the specific challenges and trials you have faced which were designed to draw you closer, through the loving words or actions of others who follow me. Now I am speaking directly to you through this specific message. Please, do not turn away. Do not dismiss my voice. Do not harden your heart. I am reaching out to you now with the full intensity of my boundless love, asking you, imploring you to prepare your heart to trust me completely and to be ready for what lies ahead. My deepest desire, the longing of my eternal heart, is to spend eternity in joyful fellowship with you, my precious child. But the choice ultimately rests with you. Will you truly listen this time? Will you respond with decisive action? Will you diligently prepare your heart and life before the opportunity passes, healing the wounds within, understanding your path to wholeness, beloved? As you draw closer to me, as you heed this call to prepare your heart, you may become increasingly aware of deeper wounds within you, echoes of past pain that still resonate and shape your present experience. Please understand, my deepest desire encompasses not only your eternal security, but also your present healing and wholeness right now in this life. Many of you carry burdens, unseen scars etched upon your soul from your earliest years, wounds inflicted, sometimes unintentionally, sometimes, sadly, deliberately, by those who were meant to provide safety, love, and nurturing. Recognizing, acknowledging, and gently tending to these wounds is not a detour from preparation. It is a vital, integral part of your growth and readiness. Sometimes, this journey toward inner healing involves courageously acknowledging and allowing yourself to process deep-seated grief. This is never a sign of weakness, my child, but a profound act of courage and honesty. Mourning, you see, is the natural, necessary, and healthy response to loss. And oh, the losses you may have endured. The loss of safety in your own home. The loss of innocence taken too soon. The loss of consistent nurturing. The loss of being truly seen, heard, and valued for the unique individual I created you to be, especially during those formative years when you were utterly dependent. To navigate this sacred process of mourning effectively, to truly release the pain rather than letting it fester within, there are avenues your heart can take, paths I have designed for release and restoration. Think of these as God-given tools for healing. Consider these ways I have made for you to process pain, to move through grief toward wholeness, through the clarifying fire of righteous anger, through the cleansing release of tears, through the courageous act of giving voice to your pain, and through the gentle yet brave process of allowing yourself to truly feel the depths of your emotions without condemning yourself. The sacred power of righteous anger. Reclaiming your voice and value, let's speak plainly and honestly about anger, my child. The world often misunderstands this powerful emotion, associating it solely with destructive rage, uncontrolled outbursts, or bitterness. But there is a form of anger, a righteous and cleansing anger, that originates not from malice or a desire to harm, but from a deep, instinctual protest against injustice. It is the soul's healthy, God-given response against having been wronged, diminished, neglected, or treated unfairly, especially during those vulnerable childhood years when you depended entirely on others for your survival and sense of self. Many of you, my precious children, carry the invisible yet heavy scars of childhood hurts. Perhaps you experience being consistently intimidated, made to feel small or afraid. Perhaps you endured chronic humiliation, mockery, or contempt that chipped away at your spirit. Maybe you were consistently overlooked, your needs ignored, your presence treated as insignificant. Or perhaps you suffered the chilling pain of emotional abandonment, a coldness or distance that left you feeling utterly alone even when others were physically present. I want you to hear this clearly. It is not only okay, but often absolutely necessary for your healing to feel anger about these things. This is not about holding onto bitterness, but about acknowledging the truth of what happened and the impact it had on you. As you learn to grieve these past hurts effectively, this righteous anger becomes an incredibly powerful tool for healing. It's like a healthy resentment finally surfacing, daring to acknowledge the profound insecurity and fear you may have lived with for so long, perhaps even within your own family. It is perfectly valid to feel angry that perhaps you never had a consistent, safe guide to help you navigate the complexities of life. It is right to feel anger if you lacked a reliable protector who would stand up for you. It is understandable to feel anger if you never received fair, appreciative recognition of your budding self, your unique gifts, your efforts, your accomplishments, your very being. It is deeply justifiable to feel anger over the profound betrayal inherent in having no safe harbor, no trustworthy person to turn to for help, comfort, or understanding on countless occasions when your young heart desperately needed it. This righteous anger needs an outlet, a safe and constructive expression that harms neither yourself nor others. Its purpose is not destruction, but restoration and boundary setting. When you feel this righteous anger rising, perhaps triggered by a memory of past trauma, or, very importantly, by the ongoing effects of that trauma, especially that harsh, self-hating voice inside your head, that critical echo of past damaging messages, you can learn to channel it constructively. In the privacy of your own heart, or perhaps speaking aloud when you are alone, you can firmly and decisively say no, or be quiet, or that's not true, to that internal voice of condemnation. That critical voice often acts as an agent, a painful echo of those past hurts. This simple act of externalizing the anger, directing it squarely towards the damaging message or its internal echo, is crucial. It prevents you from turning that powerful anger destructively inward upon yourself, which often manifests as shame, self-blame, or depression. Instead, you use the anger's energy to protect yourself. This is a powerful way to reclaim and restore the self-preservation instincts I placed within you from the beginning. Instincts that may have been suppressed, damaged, or overridden by those early painful experiences. In most situations, my child, you do not need to directly confront the individuals from your past to express this healing anger. Venting rage at them now might cause more harm or be unsafe. The truly crucial target for this righteous anger is often the internalized voice, the persistent echo of the past that still tries to dictate your worth, instill fear, or keep you feeling small. The clear exception, of course, is if someone from your past is still actively causing you harm or violating your boundaries in the present. In that case, direct, firm boundary setting, fueled by protective anger, is absolutely essential for your safety and well-being. Think of righteous anger as a rescuer. It can pull you out of the toxic, sticky mire of shame. When damaging words or actions from others caused you pain in the past, especially as a child, you might have unconsciously internalized the blame. You might have absorbed the hurtful message and turned the accusation inward, wrapping yourself in a heavy cloak of shame, believing something was fundamentally wrong with you. Righteous anger allows you to finally challenge that false belief. It helps you redirect the feeling of wrongness, placing the responsibility squarely back where it belongs on the unjust action, the cruel word, the neglectful behavior, and not on your inherent worth or lovability as my child. This process fuels your motivation to continue the vital work of establishing strong inner boundaries, like a protective shield, against the relentless attacks of that negative inner voice, that echo of past hurt. It strengthens your resolve to protect the sacred inner sanctuary of your heart and mind. You can practice expressing this anger privately. You might write down the angry thoughts and feelings, then symbolically destroy the paper. You might speak them aloud to me in prayer, knowing I understand the depth of your pain and the legitimacy of your protest. Sometimes, sharing this anger with a deeply trusted friend or a wise, compassionate counselor, someone who can simply witness and validate your feelings without judgment, without trying to fix it or tell you not to feel that way, can be immensely helpful and validating. However, as you become more practiced in this, much of this vital boundary-setting work can be done silently, internally. It becomes like an anger-fueled thought block, an immediate mental boundary, a firm stop sign erected in your mind whenever that critical inner voice launches an attack, protecting your spirit from its venom. For some of you, my precious ones, the identification with this harsh inner critic has become so complete, so pervasive, that it feels like your entire identity is wrapped up in its negativity. It feels like that voice is who you truly are. In such cases, a period of intensely focused effort, consciously fighting back against this critic using the energy of righteous anger, is often necessary. This continues until a healthier sense of self-protection emerges, until you can clearly distinguish its harsh, condemning voice from my gentle, loving voice, and from the voice of your own true, authentic self, the self I created in my image. Anger can also rescue you from that paralyzing feeling of childlike powerlessness that often washes over you during flashbacks or moments of intense emotional triggering. When the past suddenly feels overwhelmingly present, when old fear floods your system, making you feel small, helpless, and trapped like you did as a child, righteous anger can rise up like a protective parent within you, reminding your spirit, wait, I am an adult now. I have resources. I have my strength flowing through me. I can protect myself. That was then, this is now. It anchors you firmly in your present reality and your adult capabilities, helping you to navigate the emotional storm without being completely swept away. When used wisely, constructively, and safely, this righteous anger helps diminish and even dissolve pervasive, chronic fear. It reawakens and nurtures your God-given instinct for self-preservation, an instinct essential for navigating the world safely. Through consistent practice, consciously choosing to use anger protectively rather than destructively, it helps you develop a clearer sense of healthy boundaries. This includes both external boundaries, knowing what treatment you will and will not accept from others, and having the courage to communicate that, and, crucially, internal boundaries, refusing to allow that inner critic to bully, berate, or diminish you. This practice keeps you safer, freer from manipulation by others, and liberated from the most insidious and damaging form of bullying, the one that happens inside your own mind. Finally, embracing healthy anger reinforces the essential work of thought correction and thought substitution, consciously challenging the lies and replacing them with my truth. As you use righteous anger to reject the lies of the critic, you are worthless. You are unlovable. It was your fault. You create vital space within your heart and mind. Into this space, you can intentionally invite and embrace the truth of your inherent worth in my eyes, your infinite belovedness, your fundamental goodness as my creation, and the potential for goodness and lovability you can find in others whom you prayerfully and discerningly choose to draw close to. This is a process, my child, not an instant fix. Anger acts like a determined rescuer, helping you progressively reclaim your true self from the suffocating grip of past negativity. It re-educates your heart, teaching it to be kind and compassionate towards yourself, just as I am towards you. And as you heal inwardly, it enables you to build healthier, more authentic, and deeply fulfilling connections with others based on mutual respect and safety. Breaking painful cycles through acknowledged anger, understanding, and allowing yourself to feel this righteous anger is also absolutely crucial for breaking free from repeating painful patterns in your relationships. If you don't allow yourself to safely reconnect with and validate the legitimate anger you felt, or perhaps should have felt, but were unable to express or even acknowledge at the time towards past mistreatment, neglect, or boundary violations, you risk unconsciously accepting or even seeking out similar dynamics in your present life. The unresolved pain and the suppressed protest can create a blind spot, drawing you back into familiar, albeit harmful, territory. Consider a soul I know, a gentle spirit, seemingly timid on the surface, who endured devastating betrayals as an adult by figures she trusted implicitly, people in positions of authority and care. As we journey together in prayer and reflection, tracing this painful pattern back to its roots, we uncovered a deep, foundational childhood wound. A trusted relative who seemed like the only kind and attentive figure in a family landscape marked by emotional neglect, tragically exploited her vulnerability and loneliness. This began subtly, with small boundary crossings, seemingly innocent gestures that gradually blurred the lines. Over time, it escalated into inappropriate and deeply damaging contact, because her parents, unfortunately, had stifled her ability to say no very early in life, crushing her natural, God-given self-protective instincts. Don't talk back. Do as you're told. Children should be seen and not heard. She felt completely powerless to protest this violation. She froze, unable to assert her boundaries, internalizing the confusion and shame. Later in life, this tragic pattern repeated itself with others who held positions of trust and authority over her. In those moments of encounter, overwhelmed by the echoes of the past, those powerful emotional flashbacks that bring the feelings of the original trauma crashing into the present, she felt frozen again, just as she had as a child. She was unable to protest in the moment, unable to say stop. Afterwards, the only reaction she could muster was intense self-blame and suffocating shame, turning the rightful anger inward, attacking herself for not preventing the violation. The path to her healing was long and required great courage, but it involved allowing her, gradually and within the safety of our connection, to finally access and express the profound, righteous anger she felt towards each person who had violated her trust. Anger at the injustice, anger at the betrayal, anger at the exploitation of her vulnerability. It was a sacred process of me witnessing and validating that long-suppressed pain and protest alongside her. Then came a moment of significant breakthrough, a turning point. She shared with me, her face radiant with a mixture of astonishment, relief, and newfound strength, how a similar unhealthy dynamic had begun to unfold with a colleague at her workplace. The pattern started subtly, just as before, seemingly friendly touches, pats on the back, that began to escalate towards unwelcome and inappropriate intimacy, first stroking her hand, then her arm. But this time, something was different. Equipped with her reclaimed righteous anger, fueled by a growing sense of her own worth and her right to safety, she was able to act differently. Before the situation could escalate further, she found her voice. In the presence of other colleagues, providing witnesses and accountability, she clearly and firmly stated, "Please don't touch me. I don't like it when you touch me and I need you to stop." The colleague, taken aback, immediately ceased the behavior. Tears of profound joy and deep relief streamed down her face as she recounted this victory to me. A victory born from finally allowing herself to feel and channel righteous anger protectively, setting a boundary that honored her dignity and safety. This, my child, is the power I offer you, the power of reclaiming your voice, fueled by acknowledging past hurts and channeling the resultant anger into healthy self-protection. The healing balm of tears and the power of voiced pain, alongside the necessary work of righteous anger. Allow yourself the equally vital release of tears, my child. Your tears are never a sign of weakness. They are liquid prayers, sacred expressions of sorrow, grief, loss, and sometimes even overwhelming joy or profound relief. Crying is a physical and emotional cleansing I designed for your body and soul. It releases pent-up emotional pressure, acknowledges the reality and depth of your pain, and allows your nervous system to discharge stress. Do not be ashamed of your tears. I see each one that falls, and they are precious in my sight. They signify a heart that is alive and feeling, a heart that is bravely engaging with its own experience. Similarly, Finding ways to give voice to your pain, to articulate the hurt that may have remained unspoken for years, can be profoundly healing. This might take many forms. You could pour out your heart in a private journal, writing letters you never send but which allow you to express the unexpressed. You might find courage to talk honestly with a trusted confidant, a friend, a mentor, a spouse, or a counselor who can listen with compassion and without judgment. Engaging in creative expression, like painting, sculpting, making music, dancing, or writing poetry, can provide powerful nonverbal outlets for complex emotions. Or perhaps most importantly, you can simply speak your hurt aloud to me in prayer, knowing that I hear every word, understand every nuance, and hold your pain with infinite tenderness. Verbalizing the unspoken, bringing the hidden pain out of the shadows and into the light of awareness, yours and mine, diminishes its overwhelming power over you. It allows you to externalize the struggle, to name it, and in the act of naming it, you begin to gain a sense of mastery over it, rather than feeling helplessly controlled by it. Embracing your feelings, the path to authentic wholeness ultimately. My beloved, true, and lasting healing involves learning to embrace the full spectrum of your God-given emotions. Yes, the righteous anger and the cleansing sadness we've spoken of, but also fear, joy, excitement, contentment, disappointment, shame, guilt, longing, without harsh judgment, and without being completely overwhelmed or consumed by them. For too long, perhaps, you were taught, either directly or indirectly through experience, to suppress, deny, numb, or escape your feelings, especially the difficult or uncomfortable ones. Big boys don't cry, don't be angry, just get over it. Don't be so sensitive. You might have learned that expressing certain emotions led to punishment, ridicule, or abandonment. But hear this truth. Your emotions are God-given signals, messengers from your inner world. They provide valuable information about your needs, your boundaries, your experiences, and how you are relating to the world around you and within you. Fear signals potential danger or unmet needs for safety. Anger signals injustice or boundary violation. Sadness signals loss. Joy signals connection and fulfillment. Learning to sit with your feelings, even the uncomfortable ones, to listen to what they are trying to tell you with compassion and curiosity, asking, "What is this feeling telling me?" rather than immediately judging, "This feeling is bad," is a vital skill for emotional maturity and deep spiritual growth. It allows you to respond consciously and wisely to your life circumstances, rather than reacting automatically based on old patterns or suppressed pain. This journey of feeling, truly feeling all that arises within you with my loving presence beside you, is an essential part of becoming whole, integrated, and authentically alive. Healing through connection. The relational path I designed, my beloved child. Grasp this fundamental truth deep within your spirit. You were not designed to heal alone, nor were you designed to live in isolation. I created you for connection, for relationship first and foremost, a deep, intimate, personal relationship with me, your creator and loving Father, and then for healthy, supportive, life-giving relationships with others. Deep healing, especially healing from the kinds of wounds that arise from experiences of abandonment, neglect, betrayal, or unsafe relationships during your formative years, almost always requires experiencing a new kind of relationship, a corrective, healing connection that provides what was missing before. Many of you, my precious ones, carry the heavy weight of what some people describe using terms related to complex trauma or deep attachment wounds. Essentially, this means your early experiences may have left you with a deep-seated sense that relationships are unsafe, unpredictable, or inherently painful. You may never have consistently experienced a relationship that felt truly safe enough. Remember, safety in this context means far more than just physical protection. It encompasses emotional safety, the profound freedom to be your authentic self, to express your real feelings, even the messy ones, your needs, your thoughts, and your vulnerabilities without the terrifying fear of judgment, ridicule, contempt, rejection, or the withdrawal of love and connection. Healing these deep relational wounds, therefore, typically necessitates engaging in a restorative relationship experience. This might be found in the dedicated space of therapy with a wise, compassionate, and skilled counselor. It might blossom within a committed partnership where both individuals are dedicated to mutual growth and healing. It could be nurtured in a truly trustworthy friendship where vulnerability is met with steadfast acceptance. The crucial element is that this other person or persons needs the capacity to be present with your pain and discomfort, and importantly, also with their own, with genuine compassion. They need to be relatively comfortable feeling and expressing their own range of emotions: sadness, anger, fear, joy, vulnerability, in healthy, non-destructive ways. They cannot offer you what they do not possess themselves. When another person possesses this level of emotional maturity and relational intelligence, they can gently guide you, often simply by their example and through the safety they create in your interactions, to gradually let go of the automatic, often unconscious habit of shutting down, suppressing, or rejecting your own feelings. They can help you learn to navigate intense emotions without getting lost in reactive cycles of defensiveness, withdrawal, attack, or collapse. A person with good enough emotional intelligence, no one is perfect, my child, can connect with you through safe, compassionate eye contact, a gaze that says, "I see you and I accept you." They can offer a calm, reassuring tone of voice that soothes your nervous system rather than activating it. They can model for you, often without even needing to say much, how to simply be with difficult emotions with acceptance and curiosity, rather than feeling an overwhelming urge to immediately fix them, flee from them, or fight against them. Some who study the intricate ways I designed your brains and nervous systems speak of this as the co-regulation of affect. In simple terms, it means that being in the presence of a calm, emotionally regulated, and compassionate person can actually help to calm and regulate your own nervous system, especially when you are feeling distressed, overwhelmed, or triggered. There's even a growing understanding in neuroscience about how your brains are intricately wired for connection, perhaps through mechanisms like mirror neurons. Simply put, observing someone else handle a difficult situation or emotion calmly and compassionately can actually help your own brain learn new pathways, new possibilities for responding. When you repeatedly experience someone else, like a caring friend, partner, or counselor staying present and compassionate with your pain, your anger, your sadness, your fear, without getting overwhelmed, triggered, or judgmental themselves, your own system begins to learn on a deep, visceral level that it's possible to feel deeply without being destroyed by the feeling. It learns that connection can remain even amidst difficult emotions. Understanding the roots of relational difficulty, many deep-seated relational difficulties, the patterns that keep causing you pain in your connections with others, often stem from those early life experiences where the very people meant to be your safe haven, your secure base, typically parents or primary caregivers, were themselves, tragically, sources of danger or profound insecurity. This danger might have been overt and obvious harsh words, yelling, contemptuous tones, severe or unpredictable punishments, physical aggression. Or it might have been more subtle, yet just as damaging emotional distance, chronic unavailability, neglect of your needs, parental depression or addiction that left them unable to connect, a pervasive coldness, or a failure to protect you from harm from others. When a child repeatedly experiences such treatment, their developing nervous system, designed by me to seek safety and connection, learns adaptively to live in a state of chronic fear, hyperalertness, or sometimes a state of shutdown or numbness just to survive. They become easily triggered into overwhelming states of distress later in life, often experiencing a painful, confusing mix of intense fear, feeling unsafe, toxic shame, believing they are inherently bad or flawed, and a deep, aching depression related to the profound feeling of abandonment, of being fundamentally alone and uncared for. If parents or caregivers are unable or unwilling to provide a sufficiently safe, consistent, and loving attachment. A child cannot fully or safely entrust their developing self, their vulnerable inner world, to anyone. There's no reliable source for accurate feedback about who they are. There's no consistent wellspring of healthy validation. Yes, your feelings make sense. I see your effort. There's no wise, trusted guidance through life's challenges. When difficulties inevitably arise, there's no safe person to turn to for comfort, support, or practical help. There's no safe space to cry out against injustice or unfairness. No compassionate ear willing to simply receive the stories of hurts, mistakes, accidents, or betrayals without judgment or blame. Crucially, there's often no one to consistently mirror their joy, celebrate their successes, big or small, or simply be with them in authentic, back-and-forth communication. That simple give and take of shared experience that forms the very foundation of intimacy and felt connection. I have heard souls describe this painful reality with aching clarity. Talking to my parent about anything important felt like giving ammunition to the enemy. Anything I shared, especially a vulnerability, could and often would be used against me later in criticism or mockery. No wonder I learned to be quiet, to keep things to myself, to build walls around my heart. Those who carry these deep relational wounds often never had the opportunity to learn the essential communication skills needed for genuine closeness, trust, and belonging. Engaging with others, even in seemingly simple social situations, can feel fraught with exhausting social anxiety. In moments of intense triggering or emotional flashback, this anxiety can escalate into a paralyzing fear of social situations altogether, leading to isolation. Furthermore, many precious souls, driven by the unconscious pull to repeat the past in an attempt to somehow master it, a dynamic some call a repetition compulsion, find themselves repeatedly drawn into adult relationships, friendships, romantic partners, even relationships with authority figures, that tragically reenact the very abuse, neglect, or abandonment dynamics they experienced as children. They find themselves feeling unseen, unheard, criticized, or abandoned all over again, reinforcing the old painful beliefs. For many carrying these deep wounds, embarking on a relationship with a truly safe, caring, and emotionally mature person, whether that's a skilled therapist, a wise mentor, a dedicated sponsor, or a friend committed to mutual growth and healing, might be the very first time they consciously experience a relationship built fundamentally on safety, consistency, and genuine care. This is a sacred trust, my child. If that potentially healing person lacks the skill, patience, and compassion to provide the necessary safety, to help gently rebuild trust piece by piece, it can feel devastating, potentially re-traumatizing, and sadly, might discourage further attempts at seeking the connection needed for healing. Furthermore, learning to manage the overwhelming emotional storms often called flashbacks, those moments where feelings, sensations, and beliefs from a past trauma flood the present moment, making it feel like the danger is happening right now, is far more effective and less terrifying within the context of a safe, grounding relationship. You often need to feel safe enough with someone to even begin describing the humiliating, terrifying, or deeply confusing experiences held within your memory and body. And that person, that safe harbor, needs the capacity to offer the consistent compassion, calmness, validation, and non-judgmental presence that were tragically missing in your early life. Their steady presence becomes an anchor in the storm. It's also crucial for anyone seeking to support someone with these deep wounds, and for you, if you are supporting others, to understand that trust, once broken so profoundly, can be incredibly fragile. Trauma can create a kind of hair trigger, off switch, for trust, often activated automatically and unconsciously during flashbacks or moments of perceived threat, even if the threat isn't actually real in the present. A truly healing relationship requires immense patience and the capacity to navigate these sudden, seemingly inexplicable ruptures in trust with understanding, not defensiveness. It requires repeatedly offering reassurance, validating the fear underneath the mistrust, and working collaboratively to understand the trigger and restore the connection, again and again if necessary. So many wounded souls have shared stories of disappointment with helpers, friends, or partners who became frustrated, angry, or withdrew when they couldn't simply choose to trust consistently, not understanding the deep, involuntary roots of the mistrust, the healing power of a corrective relationship. My design for restoration, understanding all this, leads me to emphasize the profound, transformative healing power available through relationship. Specifically, through what some might call an intersubjective or relational approach to healing. A high-quality, safe, authentic, and committed connection with another person can provide a powerful corrective emotional experience. It offers a lived reality that directly contradicts the old, deeply ingrained beliefs formed in trauma. It can gently, patiently challenge the painful conviction that genuine connection is impossible, inherently dangerous, or something you are unworthy of. Experiencing safety and acceptance in relationship can prevent a life lived in guarded superficiality, painful isolation, or lonely alienation. I have observed time and time again, my child, that without establishing at least a moderate level of trust and safety in a relationship, whether with me, a therapist, or a friend, guidance is less readily received. Advice often falls on deaf ears, and even empathy offered may not fully penetrate the protective defenses built around a wounded heart. Therefore, consciously cultivating certain key qualities within your significant relationships and seeking these qualities in those you choose for support, like counselors or mentors, is absolutely vital for fostering the trust necessary for this deep, relational healing to occur. Consider these 4 pillars, qualities that reflect my own relational nature, essential for building the bridges of trust needed for restoration. 1. Empathy. Seeing through another's eyes, feeling with another's heart. Empathy, my child, is the ability I have placed within you to sense and understand another person's feelings, to try and see the world from their unique perspective, without immediately imposing your own judgment or solutions. It's about feeling with someone, not just feeling sorry for them from a distance. True empathy involves truly listening, not just to the words being spoken, but to the emotions simmering beneath the surface, the unspoken needs, the hidden hurts. It requires setting aside your own agenda for a moment to truly enter into the other person's inner world. My own empathy for you, my beloved, is boundless. I feel your hurts. I know your joys. I understand your struggles intimately, even more than you understand them yourself. Seek out relationships where genuine empathy is present, where you feel truly seen and understood, not just evaluated or fixed, and strive with my help to offer this same gift of empathy to others. It is the bedrock upon which feelings of safety, understanding, and deep connection are built. When someone truly gets you, the isolation begins to dissolve. 3. Authentic vulnerability. The courage to be real, authentic vulnerability, as I intended, does not mean recklessly oversharing intimate details with everyone or having no protective boundaries whatsoever. Rather, it means choosing to be real, genuine, and appropriately transparent about your own humanity, including your struggles, your imperfections, your fears, and your feelings, within the context of safe and trusted relationships. When someone you trust, be it me, a friend, a partner, or a helper, can share their own vulnerabilities in a healthy, balanced way, not dumping their unprocessed pain, but acknowledging their humanity, it creates a powerful sense of safety and permission for you to do the same. It dismantles pretense, breaks down walls of isolation, and allows for real, heart-to-heart connection. Think of how I revealed my own heart through the prophets of old, sharing my grief, my anger, my longing for connection with my people, and ultimately, how I revealed my very nature in the person of my Son. Jesus, who walked the earth, experienced the full range of human emotion and vulnerability: hunger, weariness, sorrow, righteous anger, deep friendship, betrayal, yet without sin. Healthy, appropriate vulnerability builds sturdy bridges of trust and invites genuine intimacy. 4-5. Dialogue, the dance of mutual understanding. True relationship, the kind that fosters growth and healing, involves far more than just taking turns talking or engaging in monologue. It requires genuine dialogue, a dynamic back-and-forth exchange where both parties feel heard, understood, respected, and valued. Dialogue involves speaking your own truth with love, clarity, and courage, expressing your needs and feelings honestly yet respectfully. But just as importantly, it involves listening deeply to understand the other person's truth, their perspective, their feelings, their needs, especially when they differ from your own. It's a dynamic process of mutual discovery, learning, and connection. It requires humility, curiosity, and a willingness to be influenced by the other. This is the kind of relationship I desire with you, my child. An ongoing conversation, a sharing of hearts, where you speak honestly to me and listen intently for my voice in return. Seek relationships where true dialogue is possible, where communication flows in both directions with respect. 6-7. Collaborative relationship repair. Mending the inevitable tears. Let's be realistic, my child. No human relationship is perfect. Because you live in a fallen world and interact with other imperfect beings, misunderstandings, hurts, disappointments, and ruptures will happen, even between people with the very best intentions. The hallmark of a strong, resilient, and genuinely healing relationship is not the absence of conflict, but the ability and willingness of both parties to repair these ruptures together, collaboratively. This vital process involves several steps: courageously acknowledging that a hurt or misunderstanding has occurred, not pretending it didn't happen, taking responsibility for one's own part in the difficulty rather than just blaming the other, offering and receiving apologies sincerely and specifically, and working collaboratively to understand what went wrong, what triggered the breakdown, and how to reconnect and move forward in a way that strengthens the bond. Repair is not about assigning blame or winning an argument. It's about restoring safety, trust, and connection. My entire plan of redemption, culminating in the sacrifice of my son, is centered on repairing the ultimate rupture caused by sin, restoring relationship between humanity and myself through radical grace, forgiveness, and reconciliation. Learning the skills of collaborative repair in your human relationships is incredibly powerful. It deepens trust and intimacy immeasurably, proving that the connection is stronger than the inevitable conflicts. 8. Seeking support wisely. Finding safe harbors for healing. If you recognize these patterns of deep wounding, these struggles with trust, vulnerability, or emotional regulation in your own life, please hear me. Seeking support is not a sign of weakness, but an act of profound wisdom, courage, and self-compassion. It's an acknowledgement that you need others, just as I designed you to. This support might involve finding a skilled and compassionate therapist or counselor, someone specifically trained in understanding trauma, attachment, and relational healing. When seeking such help, look for someone who embodies these qualities we've discussed: genuine empathy, appropriate vulnerability, a commitment to dialogue, and a willingness to work through difficulties collaboratively. Repair. Don't hesitate to ask potential therapists questions about their approach. How do you help clients feel safe? How do you view the therapeutic relationship? What is your experience working with people who have experienced difficult childhoods? Trust your intuition. Do you feel a sense of potential safety and connection with this person? If formal therapy isn't feasible or feels like too big a step right now, consider intentionally developing a relationship of mutual peer counseling with a trusted, emotionally mature friend who is also committed to personal growth and healing. Together, you could agree on ground rules for safety, confidentiality, mutual respect, careful listening, and offering support rather than unsolicited advice. Alternatively, carefully chosen online support forums or groups where others share their healing journeys with vulnerability, honesty, and mutual respect can sometimes offer a valuable sense of community, understanding, you too, and shared hope. However, always exercise significant discernment and caution in any online interaction, as safety cannot always be guaranteed. Remember, my beloved, the ultimate goal is to find or cultivate relationships with me first and foremost, and then with safe, trustworthy others, where you feel safe enough to be real, to explore your wounds without judgment, to practice new ways of relating, and to experience the profound, corrective power of genuine, compassionate connection. This is my design for your healing and restoration, living as my masterpiece, embracing your woven story, my beloved child. I want you to grasp this profound and liberating truth. Your life is not merely a random sequence of disconnected events, a chaotic jumble of happenings. It is a meticulously woven tapestry, designed by me, the master weaver, with intricate detail, profound purpose, and breathtaking, unique beauty. Each thread, every single experience you've had, every relationship formed, every joy celebrated, every sorrow endured contributes meaningfully to the overall pattern and significance of the whole creation that is you. From your vantage point, standing close to the loom of life, you may not always perceive the emerging design clearly, especially when your focus is narrowed by a particularly challenging thread, a complex knot of difficulty, or a period shrouded in deep uncertainty. All you might see are tangled threads, confusing colors, and what appear to be mistakes. But I, my child, see the complete masterpiece from an eternal perspective. I understand precisely how each thread interlinks with the others, how each color contributes to the richness of the whole, how even the tightest knots and darkest hues serve to strengthen the integrity and enhance the beauty of the fabric of your life. I ask you to trust in my craftsmanship, my beloved. Rest assured in this. I make no mistakes in my ultimate design for those who love me and are called according to my purpose. Nothing in your life, when surrendered into my loving hands, is left purely to random chance or meaningless suffering. Every single experience, whether bathed in the warm sunlight of happiness or shrouded in the deep shadow of pain, whether filled with laughter or stained with tears, is intentionally allowed and woven into the tapestry of your existence. Each one serves a purpose in my grand design, to shape you, to mold your character, to refine your spirit like gold in the fire, and ultimately to prepare you for the glorious, unique destiny I have meticulously planned specifically and personally for you. Therefore, I urge you, do not judge the entire tapestry based on a single difficult thread or even a challenging dark section. I invite you to step back, metaphorically speaking, through prayer and reflection, and view your life through the lens of faith and eternal perspective. Try with my help to perceive the larger unfolding picture, the emerging beauty hidden within the struggle, the intricate complexity that makes your story unique, the divine design that is your specific life story, authored and overseen by me, your loving Father. Those darker threads, the knots that represent struggles and suffering, the stitches that seem uneven or imperfect from your limited viewpoint. These are not flaws in my design, my child. They are essential elements, integral to the overall composition. They provide depth, texture, contrast, and ultimately, they serve to enhance the brilliance and vibrancy of the brighter threads woven alongside them. They represent the challenges you have bravely faced, the trials you have endured through my strength, the setbacks that have tested your resolve and driven your roots deeper into me. Paradoxically, it is often these very difficult elements that serve to highlight and accentuate the threads of joy, the moments of unexpected grace, the breakthroughs of understanding, the triumphs achieved through faith. They make your story richer, more profound, more resilient, and ultimately, more reflective of my redeeming power. Embrace every thread in your tapestry, my child, even the ones that feel painful or confusing right now, for each one is necessary and valuable in my eyes. Each contributes to the richness, the depth, and the unique, unrepeatable complexity of your life's design. Each thread, when viewed through the lens of eternity and my overarching love, ultimately bears witness to my unwavering faithfulness, my infinite wisdom, my redeeming power, and my steadfast commitment to your ultimate good and eternal well-being. And as the tapestry of your life continues to unfold under my careful guidance, if you remain watchful, trusting, and open, you will begin to perceive the intricate patterns more clearly, even in this lifetime. You will start to understand how seemingly disconnected events were actually profoundly interconnected in my plan. You will recognize how the challenges you bravely faced, leaning on me, prepared you in unforeseen ways for the opportunities and blessings that followed. You will see, perhaps in retrospect, how the periods of darkness you endured actually made the subsequent light shine with even greater brilliance and significance in your life, deepening your appreciation for joy and peace. Trust the weaver, my child. The call to persevere, finding strength in the journey, my precious child. I know intimately that this journey of life, this intricate process of becoming the person I created you to be, is not always easy. There will inevitably be times when you feel utterly weary in body, mind, and spirit. There will be moments when you feel deeply discouraged, when hope feels distant, perhaps even times when you are strongly tempted to abandon the path, to give up on the process, to believe the lie that it's just too hard. But in those moments, my beloved, I urge you with all the strength of my everlasting love, persevere. Do not lose heart. Do not turn back from the sacred path I have set before you, the path leading to your truest self, your deepest healing, and your highest destiny in me. Perseverance, as I intended, is far more than just passively enduring hardship or gritting your teeth through pain. It is an active, dynamic pressing forward, fueled by faith in me even when you cannot see, sustained by the hope I plant within you, and characterized by an unwavering determination, empowered by my spirit to reach the goal I have set for you. It is the conscious refusal, day by day, sometimes moment by moment, to be defeated by obstacles, setbacks, disappointments, failures, or the discouraging voices either from the world around you or from that critical voice within. Perseverance means clinging tenaciously to my promises, found woven throughout my word, even when your physical eyes cannot yet see the way forward clearly, even when your feelings scream impossibility. Remember this eternal truth: the greatest and most meaningful achievements in any life, especially in the spiritual realm, are rarely, if ever, accomplished without steadfast perseverance. Consider the natural world I created. The most stunningly beautiful flowers often bloom bravely, pushing through rocky soil in the most challenging and unlikely environments. The strongest, most resilient trees, those that withstand the fiercest gales, are invariably those that have weathered countless storms, their roots driven deeper and made stronger by the very struggle against the wind. And similarly, my child, the most profound, compassionate, and resilient souls are often those who, through leaning entirely on my grace, have navigated and overcome the greatest adversities, their lives becoming beacons of hope and testimony to my faithfulness. Crucially, remember this always: you are never, ever alone in this journey of perseverance. I am with you, constantly, unfailingly, intimately present. I promise to strengthen you when you feel weak and depleted. My power is made perfect in your weakness. I will whisper encouragement directly to your spirit when you feel utterly discouraged and ready to quit. I will provide clear guidance, often one step at a time, when you feel lost, confused, or uncertain about the next right step to take. You need only ask, listen, and trust. Draw strength continually from my word, the Bible, which is a lamp illuminating your immediate steps in the darkness, and a bright light revealing the ultimate destination of the path ahead. Study it, meditate on it, let it soak into your soul. Draw strength from consistent prayer, your direct, open line of communication to my throne of grace, the very source of all divine power, wisdom, and comfort. Pour out your heart to me honestly. Draw strength from the fellowship of other true believers, your brothers and sisters in faith, who can offer invaluable support, genuine encouragement, practical help in times of need, and loving accountability to help you stay on the path. Do not try to walk this road in isolation. and recall the inspiring examples of those faithful ones, whose stories I have preserved for you in my word, men and women of great faith, who persevered through unimaginable trials, doubts, and hardships, yet emerged victorious through their unwavering trust in me. Their stories serve as powerful testaments to the reality of faith, the critical importance of endurance, and the ultimate, inevitable triumph of my goodness, my light, and my purposes over all darkness and evil. Let their journeys encourage yours. Do not be paralyzed by the fear of stumbling or failing, my child. Every single person on this journey stumbles at times. Falling is not the end. Failing to get back up is the greater tragedy. Falling is part of the learning process in this earthly classroom. The key lies in getting back up, humbly acknowledging the stumble, learning whatever lesson I intend for you in it, seeking my forgiveness, which is always freely available in my strength, and then resolutely, courageously continuing to move forward on the path I have set before you. Understand this. With each step you take after a stumble, empowered by my grace and forgiveness, you are actually growing stronger, gaining valuable wisdom, developing greater resilience, and deepening your dependence on me for the road ahead. The ocean of grace, your unearned strength and sufficiency, my beloved, I yearn for you to grasp, not just intellectually but deep within your spirit, the profound, life-altering reality of my grace. Grace is not some abstract theological concept. It is the very atmosphere of my kingdom, the foundation of our relationship. And crucially, grace is not something you can ever earn through strenuous effort, achieve through accumulating merit points, or deserve through your own righteousness or good behavior. It is a completely free gift, flowing directly and lavishly from my heart of infinite love, the ultimate expression of my unconditional, extravagant, and pursuing love for you. Grace is my unmerited favor poured out upon you, blessing you not because you are good, but because I am good. It is my divine assistance readily and constantly available to you in every situation, every challenge, every temptation. It is my empowering presence dwelling within you through my Holy Spirit, giving you strength beyond your natural capabilities. Grace is the supernatural power that enables you, moment by moment, to overcome the downward pull of sin nature, to resist temptation effectively when you rely on me, and to live a life that genuinely pleases me, not through sheer willpower or rule-following alone, which will always fall short, but through joyful reliance on my strength working powerfully in and through you. However, understand clearly, my child, grace is not a license to disregard my ways or to live carelessly. It is not a justification for spiritual complacency, taking my infinite love and sacrifice for granted. It is not an excuse to say, well, I'm forgiven so I can do whatever I want. Absolutely not. On the contrary, true grace, when genuinely received and understood, ignites within the heart an overwhelming sense of gratitude, wonder, and love. This profound gratitude, in turn, fuels a deep desire for obedience and holiness, not out of fearful obligation or trying to earn my favor, which you already have, but out of joyful love, deep appreciation for the incredible gift received, and a longing to please the one who loves you so completely. Grace motivates love-driven obedience, not license. Embrace my grace fully, my child. Receive it with arms wide open and a heart willing to be transformed by its power. Don't hold back, thinking you're not worthy enough. No one is. That's the point of grace. Allow this divine energy, this supernatural life flow from me, to permeate every part of your being, cleansing your past, renewing your mind, softening your heart, empowering your will, and transforming you progressively from the inside out into the image of my Son. Let grace be the unshakable foundation upon which your faith rests, knowing your standing with me depends on my work, not yours. Let it be the inexhaustible source from which you draw strength for every challenge, every demand, every act of service. Let it be the pure motivation behind your service to me and to others, serving out of gratitude, not guilt.